All right, welcome everyone to the weekly coaching call. My name is Omar Pinto, your host. And today I want to start off with Sonia because we were just kind of talking a little bit about, what happened last week. So can you give us a little bit more details as to what you've experienced this week since we spoke last Wednesday?
Well, I have to say it's almost as if I've been on cloud nine because I've been, just in my own thoughts, in my own head, I've been lighter and airier. And it's like I'm in on my own secret because I have this superpower. Like I don't need my mom's approval anymore. I am doing my best as I am. I'm perfect as I am. And as long as I'm doing my best, then, all's good. I don't need anyone's approval. I don't need to live up to anyone's expectations. And ever since I came to that realization, it's like, there's been a release and I've shifted gears. Like if I can't stay on top of the kids learning because they're learning from home, like remotely right now. If they're not going to do the work, I'm like, that's fine by me. It's not my work. I've been to school. If you don't want to do your work, that's on you. They're only 5 and 7, but it was so gratifying because I found myself doing their work one day and I'm like, who's this benefiting? So if I lower my expectations, then, we all win because my mental health is better. The kids' mental health is better. They're going to learn when they're ready to learn. No one's going to fail grade 2. It's just, or if they do, they have time to make it up, so it's just, like I said, I've been lighter. And it's like I'm in on my own little secret. So
Man,
yeah,
I
it's been better, much, much better.
I can't say enough about coaching and personal development. Like in an hour, not even an hour. That took me a half an hour.
Yeah.
It just baffles the imagination. It blows my mind. It's why I love doing what I love doing because, well, as a recovering addict, I love instant gratification.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, results in half an hour. What else? It's like microwave personal development. Just pop in 30 minutes, pop out, and all of a sudden I'm like popcorn, lighter, fluffier, right? And I have my own little secret.
Yes. I will buy that product.
Man, this is so good. Well, Sonia, thank you so much for showing up and allowing yourself to be coached. As you can see, the benefits abound.
Totally. Love it. Thank you. Thank you for getting to the kernel of it.
My pleasure. All right. So with that being said, who is ready to go next? Kimberly, I haven't seen you in forever. Please allow me.
You've seen me.
I haven't seen you in a while. How can I help you, Kim?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just, I'm not here for the beer. I'm just here to listen in because I was sitting at my desk. I'm doing okay right now. You said something earlier about, change or whatever happens at its own speed. I'm at a snail's pace, and I'm totally give myself okay for that. I take a little bit longer to process things, but I get there at my own pace and I'm okay with that. Like I've been sober for 2.5 years now. And
Fantastical.
yeah, and I'm kind of like, you know what? I think my oldest son is a dick and it's not my fault. So yeah, I'm okay with that. So those kind of things. But what I've learned for myself is and you've known this for a long time, it takes me a lot to slow down and think. And so that's how I get to where I am. I need to spend a lot of time with myself, which I don't have, but I've made a lot of headway. So yeah, I'm here listening so I can get nuggets and, spend some more time with myself.
Wonderful. All right. Slow and steady wins the race. So actually, what you mentioned there is very true, right? Some of us are constantly going at Mach 12, and we need to slow it down. We need to allow ourselves to feel. And in many cases, the reason why we move so fast, talk so fast, and are constantly doing is because we're uncomfortable being. We are human beings, but most of the time we are human doings, so that we don't have to focus on healing or working on the human. So slowing down and doing the work is very important. All right. So who would like a little coaching? Little coaching. Carrie.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go, and this is so scary, but yeah, I'm that person that I'm either in constant overdrive or constantly nothing. So I can either be on the super go, go, go fast, I'm doing all this stuff, or I'm sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing.
Okay. And what would you like to do?
That's a very hard question. What I would like to not feel like that. I would not like to have to feel high or low all the time.
Okay. So thinking of a word. So I would like
Peace.
some peace. Okay.
I
Peace.
would like peace.
Okay. Wonderful. I would like peace. I would like
Just genuine happiness.
Okay. So describe, there's two states, overdrive or nothing. What happens in between overdrive and nothing?
Well, I still do all the stuff, the mom stuff and the kids stuff that I have to do, and I cross those off my list. I think unhappiness. After I cross those things, unhappiness is when I'm in that state of just being, where I'm not either high or low. Yeah, unpeace, if there's a word for that.
Unpeace. Okay, unpeace, unsettled?
Yep.
Settled.
Thank you.
Okay, unsettled. So I'm not happy. So you're doing the mom stuff, you're doing the home stuff. What's missing?
Well, that's why you're guiding me, right? So there could be crying.
Yes, there could.
What's not? Yeah. For me, I think there's a lot. To be honest, I could go back to my childhood. I could talk about me and my husband. I should probably shut the door. If I could, I can't put one finger on one place. There's a lot.
Let's start with whatever you're most comfortable with if there's a lot of things, let's pick something, some low-hanging fruit that you are okay with discussing.
I'm mad at my dad. And that's an easy one. And most people in this room have heard that. And I thought that I came to peace with that after I did my share. And then I had a couple days of feeling bad about it. And then I said to him things that I felt. And he came back and told me basically that, you know, he's been praying for me and that's good. But he also took all the knowledge or all the gratitude. He put it in his place that he solved my problems, where I think that I did this, not him.
Okay. So let's try and get a little granular so we can find out what's underneath.
Okay.
So I'm mad at my dad. I felt bad about it. He says he's praying for me. He's taking recognition, or he's taking credit for
me being sober.
For you being sober. Okay. And so, without judgment, for what reason do you think that's making you angry?
Because I did it, not him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you know that you did it, right?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm curious, right? It's just as curiosity is, but you know that you did it yourself. Why would it matter what he thinks?
I think we all have this parent issue. A lot of us anyway. I wish I knew. I wish I knew why it meant so much, because I don't. Because at the end of the day, I do know. And I did the other night when I was talking to him and I was telling him this stuff, I was like, and I felt like you picked on me at Christmas for little things. I asked him to take off his shoes in my house and he didn't. It was all kinds of little stuff. And he just acted like it was no big deal. And then when I told him this, even the other night, he was like, the people that are closest to us hurt us the most. And I said, you're right, but it did hurt me. It really did. And he said it didn't mean, he wasn't trying to hurt me. So we did talk about it, but it still hurt.
So, and again, we're going to move slow because this is painful, right? There is a need. Like when we talk about how fulfillment, right? And we use the word fulfillment, right? There's an aspect of being fulfilled. So there's things that we do in our lives that provide that for us, right? Like being a mother, right? To a certain degree is going to feel fulfilling, especially if your kids are happy and they're healthy and they're doing well. There's a sense of fulfillment, right? And so there's this relationship with your father that is not providing you with that feeling of fulfillment. There's a feeling that you want to feel. What's that feeling that you want to feel?
Acknowledgement.
There we go.
Acknowledgement for all of the help that I gave him and that he's not acknowledging what I did.
And he is not acknowledging. So this is where the human gets human. This is where we get human doing, because the human being, now we're touching the real soft, delicate parts of the human, where I didn't get the acknowledgement that I was hoping for. Like, I've done all this work and I have accomplished and I've been successful, and I don't get the credit for it, right? So there's something even beneath that. There's something underneath the acknowledgement. What does the acknowledgement mean?
Respect.
So it does. It all boils back down to childhood and what we hope to receive. So I want to receive acknowledgement. I want to receive some respect. And I did all this. I got sober on my own, and I can acknowledge it, but it's not good enough.
And nothing is for him either. It's not. He made me this person that wanted more, but I feel that nothing is. If I decorated my house a certain way, if I ask him to take off his shoes, it's all little petty stuff that shouldn't matter. Because if you have the love and the respect and the acknowledgement, then none of these things matter, I think. Like, my kids would, I could care less, Mom, if you want that, like, so yeah, it's just hard. He gave me all these great tools, but it still hurts my heart.
So let's list some of those tools.
To always look to the sunshine, to always be grateful for what you have. My grandparents did a lot of this too, not just him. I was lucky in that aspect that wasn't I able to look up to. I feel like when I was growing up, I didn't feel bad. And this is, I guess, here's my question, Omar. Why do I feel bad as a grown-up and not when I was like a teenager? Doesn't make sense to me.
Let's go back to your teen years. What was going on? What was your relationship with your dad as a teenager?
He was in and out of jail a lot, and he was taking a lot of drugs at that time. And he wasn't around, and I looked up to my friend's parents and had a lot of people that were very kindly took me in. And I always thought, this is his life, not mine. Now I feel like I'm reliving those years that I didn't live in.
And how were those, the homes they used to go to that wasn't, while your dad was, and speaking of, while your dad was in jail, what was your mom doing?
She was trying her hardest. She tried. I'm closer with my dad, if that makes any sense, or I feel like I need his acceptance more than I need my mom's, because me and my dad, I feel like, have a closer connection. My mom was trying, but never had that self-confidence, never, in my opinion, never could be happy. She looked at money. She thought being pretty and having money was the most important thing, in my opinion. And my dad never treated us like that. Like, if I gained 10 pounds, he was like, oh, who cares? It's just, like, and now I look back and she could have, she was like, I did gain 20 pounds, like my freshman 15, whatever. So, and that was very important to her. Like, how you looked was very, very important to her. And it never was to my dad. So
we're getting somewhere.
Okay. Well, keep asking questions then, because I don't know where
we're no. Okay. No. Like, I'm getting like a sense of things. Like, when there was this feeling that you had back then that you don't have now.
My dad did provide peace and comfort to me when I was growing up at a younger age, and my mom never did, ever.
There we go.
And still now, she still puts that on me. Like, my grandma's having a hard time, and she still puts all of that on the kids, where my dad did take on as much as he could. He did bad things, but he didn't try to put it on us.
Okay, so your dad changed.
He did.
And you weren't ready for that.
Right.
So how does that make you feel?
Oh, it hurts my heart. I'm glad that he changed for the better, but I feel like he took on all these other people where I just wanted him to take on me and my kids and my family, where I feel like I took that on my whole life, my whole upbringing, my whole life.
So you feel let down and disappointed.
Yes.
So sometimes we have to allow ourselves, we have to give ourselves permission to be angry. Sometimes do you feel comfortable getting angry?
I do.
Okay. So from this place, and you said that, actually, no, you said that right from the beginning. I'm mad at my dad. All right. So I'm just looking for this right now, right? I'm mad at my dad right here. Boom. I got it right here. Okay. So if he was here right now and you could tell him exactly how you feel, like just without any limits, what would you want to communicate to him? What would you want him to know?
I would say, Dad, you hurt me. You hurt me when you got into AA, because I felt that you took a big part of what I did for you away from me. But Omar, I have told him these things, and it hasn't helped me. I have told him, I have shared, even like 2 days ago when he was saying, oh, wait for you, and this and that. And then he was like, did you get the vaccine shot? And I said, no, because I don't want it. And this has nothing to do with anybody that wants the shot on here. I said, no, I don't want to be a guinea pig for anyone. I'll wait until it's necessary for me to get it. There's no reason for it. And he said, well, how would you feel if you killed someone because you didn't get it? And I said, Dad, I'm not going out in the world to kill someone. Like, I'm just telling you how I felt. So I do tell him how I feel. And I don't think that he acknowledges that.
So that makes you more angry.
Correct. How could you tell?
Right. No, we'll just go back and forth until we land on it. Okay. Because that's all it is. We just go back and forth till we land on it. And so the first line of defense for most of us is anger. It protects us. It is a very strong, empowering emotion. So you have passion, you have anger, right? So for many of us, when we are afraid or threatened, we will move into anger to protect ourselves. Because what's really behind all this is this hurt. The truth is, I am hurt. I am disappointed in you. You let me down, and you're not listening to me. You're not hearing me. You're constantly trying to continue to fix me or guide me or whatever. I don't need that. What is it that you need?
I'm just going to say acceptance again, just for him to accept that my path is not his path, and peace.
And is there anything else? There's this acknowledgement, there's acceptance. What would it mean if he did accept and acknowledge you?
I think I would be happy. And not that I wouldn't, there's always going to be those memories and the stuff that happened, but I think that we've come this far that just for both of us, and for accept his path too, for me to accept that his path is not mine. So I guess that's a goal. Because I didn't like AA, and he tried to push that on me, and I found you guys, and that's been great for me. So what I tell him that wasn't working for me, that was also something we talked about quite often. And he doesn't want to hear about sobriety and shit. He's got his own path, so he doesn't want to hear it either.
So because I want to delve into something a little more possibly politically incorrect, but we're here on Sobriety Engine and the SRC. So I might poke the bear a little bit, not on your side, not for you, because I'm on your side, right? But I was raised around this. I was raised around dogma, and I was raised around an inability to think for yourself. Once the teachings come in, sometimes we will accept those things as absolute truth. So the only way to heal here is the word that you keep saying too, which is acceptance, 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 right? Acknowledgement, acceptance. So I want acknowledgement and acceptance. And now that we're here, there's a reason why he can't do that. For what reason is he unable to acknowledge and accept your beliefs?
Because he's the leader of the pack. And that's why he loves leading the meetings. That's why yes, I know. I do know that. It still hurts. Even if I know it.
Okay, all right. Roll with me on this. I want you to, let's continue with this, okay? We just entered, some lightness just entered the room. Let's flow with it. Okay, we need this lightness. We need this lightness because it's getting heavy. So we need this lightness, right? We need to accept. We need to embrace. We need to acknowledge.
Yeah. Meditate, right, Travis?
We're going to meditate too, but there is this recognition right now of these two words of acknowledgement and acceptance, acknowledge and acceptance. And I am forced right now to acknowledge and accept that my father has found his purpose elsewhere. He has found his people elsewhere. He's found his significance elsewhere. He's found his comfort elsewhere. And I've tried to communicate that to him, but unless I come over to his side, he is not going to acknowledge and accept the work I've done because you finished that.
Because he believes that he's right in his own mind. Because he's helping others. Mm-hmm. Because he has 2 3-quarter houses and he helps all these other people, but he couldn't help his daughter.
Because no matter what you do, unless you're in AA, it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Now, as I say that, and as we start to create and try to embrace the lightness, try and connect with your growth and your strength and your sobriety. Is there something else you could possibly feel for your father that would allow you to get that peace that you deserve?
I don't know.
I know it's tough. This one's tough.
I really don't. I wish that I did, because I've tried to work on this stuff. So no,
Okay, so in this one,
but and it's not just me that he does the same thing to my brother, like in its little subtle ways, like the shoe, like little silly things, but it's stuff that shouldn't matter, but he makes it a point that he's the hierarchy, or what, like, okay, it doesn't matter if I take off my shoes, it doesn't matter if I'm telling you what's wrong with your house, and in the same breath I'm saying, oh, I love your house so much. It just he makes it known that nothing's good enough.
There it is. Nothing is good enough. And what that does is it breaks our spirit, Carrie. It breaks our spirit, because the one person on this planet, the one person that's the most important and would mean everything to you in the world, will not acknowledge and appreciate the work that you've done because it's not good enough. And so
how do you let that go? How do you move
this
on
is
from
what
that?
I'm trying to steer you in that direction. It's delicate. It's tough, because this is hard, because I want to hold on to the bitterness and I want to hold on to the resentment and the anger, because fuck you, Dad. And I know that's there, right?
Yeah.
And I know that's there because that's how I feel about my mother, right? Fuck you, Mom, that I beat drugs and alcohol. I spent 17 years in 12-step. I remarried. I have a wonderful relationship with my daughter, but because I'm not a Jehovah's Witness, it's just not good enough. So fuck you, right? Like, that's first, right? But the fuck you, Mom, right underneath that is, my God, how much does this hurt? How much does this freaking hurt? It hurts me on a cellular, visceral level so much that you cannot acknowledge and appreciate me just for being a good son and being a good man and being a good husband, that it's not enough. And so the only thing that I can do, and the only thing that's worked for me, is to recognize that I've outgrown her. And the only thing that I can do is have compassion and understanding and forgiveness for her. I have to forgive her, not to her face. I don't have to understand to her face, and I don't have to be compassionate to her face. I can still hold my ground. But from here, from this place, I know what I want. And it's not, I don't want to be angry with my mom. I just want my mom to love me. And even as I say that, it fucking hurts. I never say that. Ever. I choose to stay on the angry side because it protects me. It keeps me strong. But if I go there, if I allow myself to say the truth, and the truth is, God damn it, why didn't I get the mom I deserve? Why can't my mom treat me the way I treat my daughter? And Carrie, sometimes maybe what you have to do is you have to get into the bathroom and get somewhere alone and just look in the mirror and just say what you need to say. The truth. It's like, first it's fuck you, Dad. Why did you hurt me? Why couldn't you be the father that I needed you to be, that I need you to be? And I don't want to allow myself to feel these feelings, because these feelings are real and they hurt. And you just land in the same place. They're still not here. And I have to accept them and I have to understand them, even though they don't accept me and understand me. But then I step into who I am today. Everything I am today, the man that I am today, the husband, the father, the leader that I am today is because of my mother. Period. End of story. Period. End of story. I fought.
Isn't that the killer though? Isn't that the killer
It
that
is.
you love her? That's the killer part.
That's
of
the
it,
killer.
Right? Because I look at my dad like that too, and I can't. And you're right. Like, no, I can go yell at him, but when I yell at him personally, he doesn't. He's still going to go back to the same thing. But no, he made me the person I am today. Like your mom made you, and that's the killer part of it. The love we have for them.
Breathe.
I am.
Breathe. Yeah. Put your hand on your heart. Put your hand on your heart. Okay. And just in. And today I can say thank you, Mom. From here, I wouldn't tell it to her face. Thank you, Mom. Thank you. Because I would not be the husband, I would not be the father, and I would not be the man that I am I would not be the man I am today if I hadn't completely been destroyed by you. Completely let down, completely disappointed, abandoned. You chose other people over me. And nothing could hurt more. And it does, and it hurts. But guess what? I realized one thing. She's hurting too. She is hurt. She is in so much pain because she has lost her son and lost her daughters and chosen her religion over us. So I can choose to be angry. And some days I am. There are certain days where I tell my wife, God damn it, honey, fuck. Oh, why couldn't I have like a regular, normal, everyday mom? And as soon as I say that, a little voice comes up right immediately after I just said that. A little voice says, because then you wouldn't be the man you are today. Oh. All right. Yeah. Tell me what's going on in your head. There's a lot.
No, I appreciate that. And you're very right. What's going on in my head is that I have to come to my own acceptance with this. Not for him to accept me. And yeah, that'll be hard because it's the little things. And we do talk, and we do see each other still a lot. So yeah, I have to accept him for what he is. And if he ever accepts me, then I'll let you guys know, but he might not.
And there's one more thing you got to do. You got to forgive yourself, Carrie, because it's not your fault. It's not your fault. So forgive yourself.
Yeah, I love the forgiving of yourself for other people. It's very hard to do for ourselves, right? So forgive, I think my dad, I can forgive the things that I can forgive the fact that I'm his daughter, and I wasn't enough for him. But you know what? I don't think I can forget the stuff that I've let my kids see that I said I wouldn't do because of my dad. So that's a whole nother Wednesday.
I'm looking forward to that one. Once you're there, because trust me, Carrie, there isn't any of us here who had a perfect parent. None of us. We all had fucked up parents. What does that mean? We're going to be fucked up parents too. And at some point, if you're able to forgive him, you must forgive yourself. It is not your fault that chose them. It is not your fault that he left. It is not your fault that those things happened. Okay? It is the journey that you chose to take in this life so that you can learn what you needed to learn to become the woman that you are today.
Well, thank you.
It is my pleasure. Tree Life's had his hand up for a while. Go ahead, Travis.
I just want to say thank you to the both of you guys. You guys definitely struck a chord with me. I wanted to share, I haven't spoken with my dad in at least 3 months. I came here about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and talked with Omar about setting boundaries, standing with it. And he told me it was just my dad's behavior. My dad's behavior set the boundaries for me. It didn't. And I would scream at my dad. I would cry at my dad. I was like, you hear me well, but you just do not listen. You are incapable of listening to what I want you to understand. Like, I'm going way out of my way to try and to build a relationship with you, and you just kick me to the dirt. You do what you want to do. And I've stood strong in my stance and keeping my distance. And I still have to tell my sister sometimes. I still have to tell my mom, and they ask me, have you spoken with your dad? No, I have not. Because what purpose does that give me? I know his actions haven't changed. If I open that door, he's just gonna spit in my face. And it has made me a better person since then, because I'm no longer looking up to that role model. And it's tough. Of course I wanted to wish him a happy birthday and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and do all of the things, but it serves me no purpose because he's toxic to my life. And the lessons that he has taught me is that I can become a better man. If I ever get an opportunity to become a better father, I can do all the things that he never did for me, right? Like, I would ask my dad on a Wednesday if we could play basketball on a Saturday, and it came on a Saturday, and he had every single excuse underneath the sun to avoid me. Michigan was on playing football. I got to go get a 24-ounce of beer. The Red Wings are playing or something, and it was always a second priority to his wants and his desires and stuff. And he was, it hurt. And I didn't understand that in the moment. And it took 27 years for me to realize that enough is enough. I don't deserve your abuse, or I don't deserve it. And the second part of that is I have forgiven him, because mostly the forgiveness is for me. It's not to forget his actions. It's to let go of the bitterness and the hatred for him. And not necessarily towards him, but towards the actions that he has done. And I forgave him for that. And it's tough to forgive myself. I agree, but I'm working on it, and I've done it, and I've accepted that my higher power will put my father back into my life if that opportunity ever comes. He has to go through the steps. He has to go through the work, and he has to do his program to come back to me to create a bonding. It's not on me anymore. It's not my burden. It's all his choices, and I got a lot of support from the people in here helping me. Like, if my father makes a choice to get drunk and do something and harm himself in some kind of way, like, that's not on me, that's on him. Will I feel the effects of that? Absolutely. My father harmed himself. I'm going to be there for him, but I'm not going to take that to my grave with me for his choices and his actions and his behaviors. He is so stuck in his way, stubborn as a bull. I would have more luck convincing a wall to love me. And it's just, yeah, I'm not necessarily, you have to do what I did, but, I think, yeah, you guys just struck a chord with me, and I really wanted to put my share out there, and I'm very proud of you, Carrie, for willing to be vulnerable and brave and put this out there for yourself to heal and for others to relate to. This is good service work to both of you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Travis. What came up for you, Carrie?
Well, a lot. So I didn't talk to my dad since Christmas. And when I just talked to him on Friday, after like I did my share in different things, was the same. So maybe Travis, you're right. Maybe I need to put more space between us. I don't know. Like I tried that and then I was just happy to tell him and it was the same old, same old. So does it ever change? I don't know. Because that was over a month. But just providing the distance doesn't. I love my dad. I don't know if that's like you said, Omar. Like it, I still want to be a part of his life, and we do, for the most part. Like when we're all together, we get along until he's, trying to pick at little things, and why I let those matter. That's on me, I guess.
So here is what's really so great about this particular coaching session, because there's no, I'm not going to say no, but there's still, there's an unresolved issue here, right? So you may, based on this call, feel better and picked up a couple of new tools and insights, but it's still unresolved. And as humans, we want closure and we want resolution. We want, there's something here to like tie this all together. And I'm remembering an episode that I was listening. Christine Hassler, she coaches people on her podcast as well. And at one point she said, it's not about forgiving his behavior or their behavior. And it's not about forgiving yourself as like a spiritual bypass, just like I forgive myself kind of a deal. It's understanding what is it that you're truly forgiving. And in this particular case, it's the beliefs that we allowed ourselves to believe. It's that type of forgiveness. Like, I forgive myself for believing that I needed his approval and acknowledgement. I forgive myself for believing that I'm unforgivable. Like, I forgive myself. Like, it's more about the belief systems that we've developed about ourselves. Actions are actions. We've all been shitty people. Has anybody here not been a shitty person? Look at this. It's a whole room of shitty people. We've all been shitty people. I've been a really shitty person on a lot of shitty levels. And the way I'm able to forgive myself through this is first and foremost changing my behaviors. So I make amends to myself by not repeating the shitty shit I used to do. That's first and foremost, right? And then number two is trying to help others. That single-handedly when I first got into recovery, about a year into my sobriety, what changed everything for me was when I started taking on service commitments and sponsoring other guys, right? And there is just this undeniable feeling that even though I can't save the world, and even though I can't save my family, and even though I can't save my marriage, I can do some good here. Like, I can actually do some good here. And so what happens is, little by little, because this is just like we were talking, you know, like Kimberly was saying, like I'm slowing my journey right now. I'm just allowing things and I'm slowing things down. But ultimately, sometimes I just need to get stuck so that I can slow down for a moment and just really get a better view of what's happening. And right now, the truth is that your father does not have the ability to see what you see. He literally does not have the ability or the capacity or the wherewithal. And it just reminds me of a place in the Bible where it says, "Forgive them, God, for they know not what they do." And so I have to, at some point, move forward with all this information. Like, you're here, you're on the call, you're sharing, you're being open, you're allowing. And ultimately, I'm not going to get what I want. Like, we know this. I am still waiting. I'm 50 fucking years old. I am still waiting, right? Like, there's a little part of me that's still waiting, you know, but that little part is like this big, and the rest of me is going, yeah, we know. It ain't going to happen, right? So just keep sending her white light and love and forgiveness and understanding and acceptance, because you have outpassed her times 10, evolved in ways that she couldn't possibly understand and imagine, right? You must, Omar, have compassion for her, because she knows not what she's doing. She believes in her heart of hearts that for her holding her ground and staying committed to her beliefs, that's what I need. I need to see her commitment and her resolve, in hopes that somehow, some way, I will embrace that and come over to her side. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same exact thing. I am wishing on a cloud that my behavior and me being a good father and a good husband and sober and helping other people, thousands of people, and coaching people. Yeah, not enough. Still not a Jehovah's Witness. Still not a Jehovah's Witness. Not enough. And guess what? Today, even though if I really dig down and I say those words that I don't normally say out loud, it still brings me to tears, because I want a mommy so bad. Carrie, I'm 50 years old, and there's nothing in this world that I want more than my mommy, because my dad passed away 12 years ago, and I don't have that vessel anymore. And I count on her, and I can't count on her to be my mom. So I just have to love her and be compassionate and know that this is the best that she can do.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you all for being here and your advice. I know it is what it is, right? Just, I guess that's what I had to hear. It is what it is. And I feel so much compassion for you too, because we know how each other feels, right?
And that helps. Like, when I hear you, it helps me. I'm not alone. I have unresolved things in my life, right? That I'm so desperate. I'm hoping that someday they do, but I have to be okay with the fact that it's probably not going to go down that way. But I can still look at my life today with tremendous gratitude and acknowledgement and appreciation for the man that I am today. And that has become really the first response.
Well, and that's what I can do. My dog just walked in, and my husband too. But no, and that it's very awakening and knowing.
So my only suggestion to you would be to listen back to this recording when you get a moment, right? And when you're ready, listen back to it and see if something new comes up. Because most of the time, when we're not in the middle of it and we're just the observer, we'll get some new nuggets. We'll be able to pull more out of it, right? My hope is that you find the peace that you deserve.
Oh, thank you very much.
You are welcome. All right. Does anyone have any comments or feedback for Carrie? Go ahead, Kim.
So Carrie, what's helped me, and I've been I think everybody's on the receiving and giving end. I'm a mother, and I'm also, I used to be a daughter. Both my parents are passed away, but my mom was a drug addict and my dad was an alcoholic. So everyone can imagine what that feels like and what needs weren't met because of that. They're gone. Those needs still weren't met. And I started out this conversation saying that my son is acting shitty. And there's holidays that just tear my heart out. Like it was his birthday the other day and he can't be bothered to pick up the phone and stuff. But what I have found that helps me, the only thing that helps me, and I think will help you, is I honestly stop and be super quiet. And I put myself in their shoes. And when I was my son's age and my dad was drinking, I wanted nothing to do with him. He was an embarrassment. He was a disappointment. He's always letting me down. So I put myself in my son's shoes and I'm like, dude, I get it. You don't want to talk to me because you're waiting for the next shoe to fall. Yeah, I've got a couple years under my belt, but you're harboring feelings of like, well, where the fuck were you when I was 16? And, whatever it is else he's feeling. So I put myself in his shoes. And the minute I become him, I'm like, I get it. There's no way I can possibly be mad at him because I understand where he's coming from. And so I just stay on my best behavior. And I feel good about myself being on my best behavior. And hopefully someday he'll feel good about me. But it's the darkest days when I hang my value on what he thinks of me. And so he's 28, and then I have a daughter who's 17. And so, like I said, I'm caught in the middle, and then I turn the other way and I say, at least I'm not being shitty right now while she's being 16 and 17. So it's all their perception of you too. Like he might think I'm a shitty person. And one of you guys might think she's a really nice person because she helped me and she reached out to me. So I might, in his eyes, that's just one person's opinion of me. Maybe I wasn't cut out to be a mother, or maybe was in a bad place at the time when he was needing a mother. But maybe I'm a good mentor to these young girls I work with at a grocery store who are lost and making bad decisions. And they're like, wow, I say things that like change their life, or I guide them in a right direction. So who knows what my purpose is. I guess I'm rambling, but the best thing I can ever do when I'm upset with another person is genuinely, completely put myself in their shoes. And then it's almost impossible to be upset with them.
Kim, can you repeat what you just said about it's a dark day when you what?
In my situation, it's my darkest days, my darkest moments when I hang my value on what my son thinks of me.
Oh man, Man.
Like it's scary. It's scary, dark. Like I'm not gonna harm myself, but I wish I would just disappear because I feel just like a big zero. And I realized that he's just one person in this world. Yeah, I might have fucked up for a few years, and they might have been the most important years of his life, but I can't unfuck those. I can't unfuck those. All I can do is walk in his shoes and know where he's coming from, and it makes it impossible to be upset with him for being upset with me. And that it just like makes me, I'm just going to be here. I'm going to be a soft landing spot for whoever needs me, whoever, if he comes around. I'm all ears. I'm just going to be on my best behavior so I can be all ears and available.
I love it. I love
Because
it.
I'm not the only parent to these children, and their other parent is not available. So let's just put it that way.
Well done. Well done, restraint. But this is gold right here, Kimberly. I'm holding on to this one. I'm gonna remind myself that it's my darkest day when I hang my value on what others think of me. I'm out on that. That was well done, Kim. Thank you for that. All right. It's 5 after. Does anyone have anything else they want to say?
Hi, Mel.
All right. Incredible. Carrie, can everyone please give Carrie an applause and send her love? Well done. Well done. Let it in. Let it in. This is a powerful, powerful call. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Good night. See you all next week.